Hey, welcome back. RGB here for RJBTP, and this is part number 2 of a series between HamburgerSasu and 458. Yeah, so let's dive right into it without wasting any more time. I just want to be straight to the point. No dangling around, no dancing around, just straight into the action, because that's what we want to see. Oh yeah. I like this tune. It's kind of sweet, kind of nice. Gonna tune it down a little bit though. It's a little bit too loud. Oh, this is enough. Alright, so we've got HamburgerSasu once again playing against Sudden Wang, also known as 458. And yesterday we saw two beautiful games between these two players. HamburgerSasu on the Terran in the second game managed to beat 458. And in the first game, 458 managed to beat HamburgerSasu suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere. He seemed fine, but then the game just flipped around, and it ended within a matter of seconds. Sometimes it just happens that quick. Sometimes there's just a small little push. That's all it takes. As the Joker once said, all it takes is a little push, and then he laughs with his Joker laugh that I cannot imitate. I'm not gonna try again though. It's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of cringy as well. It's just so far removed from what Heath Ledger did as the Joker. It's just so far removed, but I'm kind of embarrassed by myself. Anyway, I said I wouldn't dance around the issue, so let's speed up the last minute till minute number 2, and add some game sound as well. And some in-game music, and remove the background music. Suddenly, it is gone. And now we have the game music and the game sounds to guide us and to hold our hands. As we're looking at a potentially very dangerous situation here, as it looks like HamburgerSasu is scouting 458, who's right next to him, really early into the match. And that is always very bad news. He's going to try to get that bunker up here. SV is still alive, pretty low HP there though, but going to try to micro his way out of there. There's 5 probes there in the front trying to keep those Marines away. And then he's going to do so successfully, but this is a lot of lost income. This is a lot of lost income so early into the match. He's going to get those 2 cannons up finished there in the front. The bunker is going to get cancelled there as well for sure, unless maybe he forgets that it's there. He cancels it. He cancels it. Of course he wouldn't make that mistake. He got a cannon already on the way there, and he stops making Marines. Well, now he's making them once again. I spoke too soon. So yeah, despite getting slowed down there by pulling 6 probes off the minerals. Well, 1 was already off the minerals. He only pulled off 1. Got a scouting probe there as well. Gonna try to get into the base of HamburgerSasu, but no, he says no. You're not getting in here. You're not getting in. The bouncers at the door keep the probe away. I'm not gonna make any jokes about the color that he's playing right now. He's still playing. Let's just move on. So the Cybercore there on the way. Probe sneaks in. He got in there regardless. He managed to distract with his Zealot, I think. Got the probe in. Not sure what he's gonna do with the probe. Maybe use some cannons. That would be very cheeky and cheesy. But I think he's just going to scout instead, see what's happening here in the back. There's no command centers being built at the moment. And if there's no command centers being built, it means that HamburgerSasu is probably going for an all-in frontal attack. And that's why we also have all those cannons coming up here in the front to defend him from the incoming attack. Probe there in the top corner, behind the bar there, it goes down. Marines there still in the front, waiting for Stim upgrade and for medics. Medics are on the way, not yet finished yet, although 2 have finished there. Stim is very close to finishing up. Gonna take down those gateways there in the front first. Zealot's gonna try to buy some time, but nope, not gonna happen. Now do note there's already 4 finished cannons, and he's making numbers 6, 5, 6, and 7 as well. So I don't think those Marines are gonna break in at all. 1 robo there in the back. No second robo yet. We do have, well, there's the second robo. I thought maybe he's going for a Citadel, but no, he's not going for a Citadel. It is a second Robo. Now do note that of course his Robos and his Citadels have all been slowed down because he felt forced to spend more minerals on cannons in the choke point that would usually come out way later. So everything here in the back is slowed down as I think about Usually you get 3 cannons and then you maybe get a 4th one. A 5th and a 6th and a 7th one are very rare. But that's about 600 more minerals than usual that you would spend so early. And of course slows all this down there in the back. Got a factory there on the way. More Marines joining the fray here in the front. I really think he's going to try though. I think he's going to try to stim his way in there. Usually against 7 cannons I'd say no, that's not going to work. But I do think that these 2 cannons in the back are a little bit too far away to hit Marines that are firing on the first 2 cannons. And that might just mean he's able to break in. He goes in. Medics are having a bad time healing up. Marines there though. He's breaking through slowly though. And as I said before, the 2 cannons in the back are not contributing all that much. So the cannon placement was just terrible there. Those 2 cannons, maybe even 3 cannons in the back. These 3 in this little box that I have got highlighted here. Didn't contribute at all to defending. And now he's got no cannons at all in the back. He's got Reavers on the way, but not finished yet. He's got 3 gateways with Zealots on the way, but no Zealots there at all. He's got probes there trying to protect the cannon, but this is not going to do anything at all. He's just going to keep sending over more Marines, and this is 458 just slipping up. He's slipping up really badly. Sometimes you don't even notice that you are slipping up. Sometimes it's in the smallest of details. Like, if he had those cannons placed differently, this wouldn't have broken through at all. But the cannons broke through, well, the Marines broke through, only because the cannons were located poorly. Most people wouldn't even notice or even try. They would just register, hey, there's 7 cannons there, I'm not even going to try. But HamburgerSasu noticed that 3 of those 7 cannons were a little bit too far away, and he just went for it. He just said, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. There's only 4 cannons able to shoot at a time. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do it. And sometimes coin flipping, even though I don't think there was a coin flip, sometimes what looks like a coin flip can be a very premeditated and calculated attack. And I think this is one of those cases where he knew exactly what he was doing. So yeah, just to highlight it once again. If you attack, like in a straight line here in the front, these 4 cannons can shoot. This one can't, because he has Marine range. So at most, like, the Marines would be somewhere around this line here, firing on these 2 cannons. These 2 would be firing as well. These 3 wouldn't. If he had placed these 3 cannons, like, differently, like, had one here, maybe one here, or one here, like, as long as they were closer to each other, in a line, those cannons would have held this easily. 7 cannons can kill all those Marines without issue. There were only 3 medics. It just would have been so easy. But such a small mistake that turns out to decide the result of the game. Not something we often see, but it happens. Like, sometimes these high-level games just go wrong. Nothing goes as planned. That means we got 2 wins for HamburgerSasu there, and 458 now lagging behind by 1 win. He's lagging behind by 1 game. So now the question becomes, can 458 engineer himself a comeback and win this set? Can he win this best of series? Or is this going to be his last match? There's only one way to find out. Only a one way to find out. He's back here on the bottom middle of the map as the teal Protoss, and his opponent HamburgerSasu is on the top left of the map. A corner spot is always very, very good in a Zerg versus Protoss, because there's only 2 or 3 directions shuttles can fly in from. There's the bottom side, there is the right side, or well, the horizontal side, and there's the choke point here, which is angle number 3, or number 2, depending on which side you count from. Anyway, the point is, one side, front side, the side. Only 3 angles to fly in from, which makes defending against shuttle drops so much easier than if you are on a middle spot. Just let me highlight this by zooming out all the way, so you can fly in from the left side, the left top side, the middle top side, the right top side, and the right side. That's 5 different directions. And that is way harder to defend against with Hydralisks or anything, really. It's just harder to defend with anything. You have to invest so much more into defending and locate your units so much better to defend against shuttle drops that it becomes significantly harder. The win rates on these middle spawns, even though this map is much more balanced than the western map, it is still much more heavily in favor of the Protoss than these corner spots are. These corner spots are just inherently easier to play from. So I've got pretty high hopes here for HamburgerSasu, and just as in the first game, he goes for 3 hatcheries before he makes a pool. That is entirely gambling on the fact whether HamburgerSasu is going for this Nexus here at the start, or if he's going for gateways at the start. In this game in particular, he went for a Nexus first, into a gateway, a gas here down below, into 2 more gateways. And this of course means that there is a lot of time for HamburgerSasu to get all these hatcheries and the pool, and then to get the defense running before that first Zealot even arrives to start attacking him. Broke there arriving, so you get the information now that, HamburgerSasu didn't go for a choke, he went for 3 hatcheries into a pool. So now Sun and Wang knows exactly what he's got to do. And that should be about the same thing he did in the first game. That is going all out on macro and the gateway army. But, there's a big but. In the first game it worked, but he was very close to not succeeding. So the question becomes, can HamburgerSasu do the same thing, but then not die near the end? Which is basically what happened in the last game. Or well, in the first game, which also had a Zerka against Protoss matchup, he held on really well, defended really well, and then at the end, out of nowhere, he just died. Out of nowhere, it just happened. Like, bam, he's dead. So, 458 being very annoying there with that crew. Keeps attacking, keeps harassing the drones there. He's got Zealot now arriving on the scene as well. Zealot doesn't have a kill. Zealot goes down before it gets a kill there, though. Although, no, it runs away. It should go down there nonetheless, though. Sunken there, also finishing up. There's hatchery number 5 there on the way. So 5 hatcheries, single sunken, and a lot of economy ready to be pumped out into all those drones on the minerals. 458 here in the back has a Citadel of Adun finished. He's got a Cyber Core as well, of course. He's now adding on more pylons to build more gateways in these 2 blocks. Well, he's building large blocks of gateways. Only on a single gas. He'll be getting Zealot speed and weapon attack soon. But first, a lot of dancing back and forth there on the middle. He's not going for a pylon here on the middle, as he did in the first match, where he went for a pylon here and some robos, but now he is actually going all out on gateway units. HamburgerSasu knows, because he is scouting it with the Overlord, so he knows exactly what's going on. Now we've got all the upgrades here on the way. Weapon attack, Dragoon range, Zealot speed. So Dragoons should soon be queuing up as well. We've got 33 probes and 32 drones, and we've got an attack happening here from 458 onto HamburgerSasu, who only has 2 sunken, so the third one is there on the way. Built I think he tried to build another sunken or an Evo chamber. If you can build an Evo chamber here and block access to the sunkens, so maybe that's what he did. I didn't click on it, so I don't know, but that's what I assume he did. Zerglings there, of course, also make it too hard for the Zealots to attack the sunkens, so he wisely pulls away and starts balling up more units and more units to prepare himself for an attack that can actually harm HamburgerSasu. But HamburgerSasu is already on 47 drones in total. That is one of the fastest 47 drones I've seen a Zerg go for in a 1v1. He barely has any units to defend. There's 8 Zerglings, 4 Sunkens, nothing else. Now he does have something else though. The Hydralisks are finishing up. He's getting Hydralisk speed as well. And that's an Evo chamber as well for upgrades, because of course you need that as well. He has no Dragoons yet. He's also now finally starting the pilot on the middle to build a proxy robo base here on the middle of the map. Dragoon range almost finished. Weapon almost finished. Zealot Lax has finished. We've got 12 gateways for now. That's a very good amount of gateways so early into the game. It's going to be a lot of gateway units swarming the map, ready to swarm. Even though he's not Zerg, but he's basically going to swarm HamburgerSasu with a Protoss mass and keep swarming him as fast as he can. But HamburgerSasu now in 72 supply with a lot of Hydralisks. Moving out to get a surround on those Zealots, gets a beautiful surround, blocks the axis or the escape path, forcing 458 to fight back instead of trying to escape. But actually, this might work out pretty bad for HamburgerSasu because now units are flanking. Although he kills all the Zealots that are blocking his way back into his own base, and manages to prevent the losses that he would have taken had those Zealots still been blocking the pathway. So the Goon's back onto the middle of the map, Zealots there as well. Now we've got about even amounts of army for both players. A lot of army for 458 is still stuck in the gateway, so 458 now pulling back, wisely so, spreading out his Dragoons, ready to go for a surround attack on those Hydras, as the Hydras are going deeper and deeper into the middle of the map. But HamburgerSasu notices, and he's going to try to only kill the pylon and then retreat back into his own base, because he knows he cannot win this fight, as level 1 attack has just finished for the Dragoons, and Dragoons are just pretty darn strong against Hydras. So now HamburgerSasu is going to try to turn the tables by moving his units into this large surrounding area here that meets this choke point. So now we have HamburgerSasu's Hydras all spread out in a circle around this choke point, and 458 notices and recognizes that he has to retreat back into the middle and turn the tables. So this is going to go on for a little while. If HamburgerSasu tries to move out, all those units are clumped up into a tiny space, and 458's units have a surround on those units, meaning that more of 458's units can attack the Hydralisks here in the choke point. Likewise, the same happens here. The defense of the choke point. The Spartans against the Persians, basically. Alright, so he tries to go and pick off those Zealots because Zealots a little bit too far away. He knows that cannons are on the way, they're on the middle. He has to try and stop the cannons from happening. He has to force his hand here. He has to force this. A lot of units now coming in there from 458, though, getting disrupted. More units coming from the base of HamburgerSasu trying to get in there. The Zealots are not doing all that great. He's morphing some lurkers as well on the Hydras that are dying to build a wall to prevent Zealots from attacking the Hydras. But in the end, the upgrades on the Dragoons and the Zealots are a little bit too strong, and so is the surround. Also, the cannons finish up, so he's forced to pull back into the choke point where they are on equal footing. 458 notices that the equal footing is not what he wants, so he pulls back into the middle, where HamburgerSasu cannot fight with those cannons and Dragoons. This is a beautiful exchange between these two players. I've been looking at this little choke point for the last 2 minutes, and not really at anything else, but this is just such a fascinating fight that we don't often see in a Zerg against Protoss and fastest map. This is very much like what would happen on a normal map where a Zerg is just non-stop fighting on the middle with a Protoss. But in the end, 458 manages to get the cannons down, but HamburgerSasu is trying to push back as hard as he can. He's trying to gain some ground, but I think he's mostly just losing units. Now 458 is also losing units, but he is also getting more probes. HamburgerSasu went from 47 drones to 42. Whereas Suddenwang, or 458, during that entire exchange went from 42 to 66. Which of course means that 458 got the upper hand out of that exchange. Plus he got cannons out on the middle, and he's got his robos there as well. He's got shuttle on the way as well, shuttle speed. He's got a Templar's Archive finishing up for a storm upgrade. He didn't get any extra upgrades though. He didn't get level 1 armor or level 1 shield as he likes to go, and level 2 weapon. Lurkers have finished though, they're in the front. So that's going to be much easier to defend for 458. I don't think... Oh, we have an observatory here from 458. He does have the observatory. I'm kind of used to seeing players forget their observatory, but 458 got that one first before he even finished the support bay. Or maybe he got them at the same time. Bottom line is, he's got the detection facilities, but he doesn't have observers themselves just yet. 75 probes now. Drones count also going all the way up to 71. So he added on a 30 drones, very wisely so, because he's pretty safe with all those lurkers in the front. This is a very, very high amount of lurkers. Also placing a hatchery there in the front, so you can start building sunkens without having to wait for the creep to spread all the way to the front. So despite all the action we had up until now, the game is now kind of in a place where both players are setting themselves up for the future. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Sometimes you can't live in the now, have to prepare for the future. Build a pension plan, invest your savings. Although in these pressing times, I imagine it can be quite difficult to do so. The lockdowns, COVID-19, the pandemic, they haven't been too kind to a lot of people all around the world. So I sincerely hope that you have been having a little bit haven't been having that bad of a time. And if you have, I hope you are going to have better times soon. COVID-19 and the pandemic have not been kind at all. Now, of course, I intended to keep your mind off of all that with this match, so let's focus on the game and just drift away for a second and zone out on the pandemic and focus on Zerg, which is also a plague, against Protoss, which is trying to kill the plague. It's a lot of lurkers, and both players are maxing out at about the same time. 170 supply here for HamburgerSasu, 84 drones. This drone count is absolutely massive. We haven't seen a drop yet from 458. Usually we see a drop coming in right about now, but he's been so busy with building everywhere on the map to try... Oh, drop comes in, just as I mentioned it. Ooh, the drop flies all the way in. Templars are on the scene. Templars are a little bit far away, though. He's got 4 of them. Drones are flying away. Storms, all the drones are dead and gone. He still's got a couple of them left. A couple of them also spawned, but that drop was really, really well timed there. I just had a gut feeling that I had to talk about drops, and 458 beat me to it by just sending the drop in before I even realized it was there. Caught it just in time. But that puts HamburgerSasu in a pretty bad spot, and puts our Protoss friend here into a pretty good position, although now the lurkers are pulling back closer to the sunkens. There's observers there as well, comes in with a frontal attack, but that's so many lurkers to attack into with all those zealots. He maybe should have waited just a little bit. A lot of the zealots have gone down, the Reavers have cleared out a lot of the lurkers as well. Hydra's coming in from the sides to get us around on those units. The Reaver goes down there, and now he's going to pull back and let those zealots run themselves to death into the lurkers and the sunkens. Templar storming on all the lurkers there, but not getting too many lurker kills. More lurkers getting morphed there on the side. He now has, once again, 78 drones, so he's pretty fine there, actually. Making Scorches as well to make sniping shuttles significantly easier. So despite that massive storm drop there on the drones, it looks like 458 didn't quite manage to get any long-lasting results out of that storm drop. He's a little bit low on gas here, though. He's spending a lot of gas very quickly, getting a lot of Templars, Reavers, Dragoons, Scarab damage upgrade as well. It's one of the downsides of going for such a tech-heavy build order as the Protoss. Your gas just disappears like snow on a sunny day in the middle of summer when there shouldn't even be any snow. So yeah, 83 drones now, 94 probes. That's a lot of probes in a very small mass. He can kill 20 of them, as I always mention that. He can kill some probes of his. 94 is too many. 74 is the perfect number. Scorch is trying to hunt the Observer, but Observer flies away. He's going to kill the Scorch there with a Storm. Good move. Although, we almost got the Observer. He almost killed the Observer. And so now the frontal push starts. Reavers, Dragoons, Zealots, ready to try to force their way through that wall here in the front. But as we all know, when something flies into a wall, it doesn't end up too kindly for whatever is flying into that wall. But he's going to try nonetheless to break through Pilot is coming from the back to the front. Gonna try to clear out the Reavers or buy some time. The Reavers are doing a lot of work, are very strong with their Scarab capacity upgrades. The Templar is also there to make sure that the Storms can keep those Reavers alive. But the Reavers crawling a little bit too close to the Sunkens. Now we've got Mulas coming in as well to finish them off. Storm comes down, the Mulas are dodging the Storm. Another Storm comes down as well, tries to dodge more of them. He's getting caught in the Storms eventually, but looks like 458 stormed his own Reavers to death. Which might have also been HamburgerSasu's goal there, with the Mulas just flying over and hovering on the Reavers. So that puts a temporary stop and a temporary halt to the push. Another lurker there in the front. I still see some observers, so the observers can still clear that out pretty easily, pretty quick. HamburgerSasu filling out all the gas he has. He's got a Defiler Mound, he's got upgrades on the way for ground. Like every single one basically. Also 2 Spires for double upgrades. He's got Defiler Mound, as I mentioned before. Consume probably already finished because I no longer see Consume being researched. Oh no. He just added it there. Just added it. He's getting Queens as well for ensnares. I still don't see a second drop ready to fly in. There was a lot of time in between that first drop and the second one. He's got Corsairs there on the side, gonna try to kill some Overlords, deny some vision. Got drop being loaded up there on the middle of the map. Dragoons and Templars. Maybe a Reaver as well, but I didn't see a Reaver. But maybe it's in there. Corsairs there still being annoying. Alright, so this side, he finds a hole as the Hylists are located poorly by just a little bit. Starts unloading his shuttles, but he unloads his Templars right on top between all the Lurkers and all the Hydras. And his Templars don't get to storm. Now, of course, he doesn't know that all the Lurkers were there. But I think dropping a little bit further away might have been the better choice. But I have knowledge that he doesn't have, so it's unfair to mention. So a lot of hatcheries here. We've got 12 hatcheries there in the front, another 5 there on the top for a total of 17. Number 18 is the main hive there. 458 noticing he's running low on gas, adds a gas proxy base here because he cannot fill out these last 3. Because, well, he built a lot of tech here on the side. A lot of cannons on the middle, a lot of robos on the middle as well. Goons coming in through the front once again, going to try to kill and gain some ground. Observers and Corsairs also there in the mix. HamburgerSasu is looking very, very strong as Guardians coming in from the front, from the back to the front. The Fighters are spawning as well. Corsairs doing a great job there with the Guardians. Guardians are slowly going down to the Corsairs, but the Corsairs there with their only level... Wait a second, don't tell me that 458 is being lazy with his upgrades again. So we've got level 2 upgrades for HamburgerSasu. 458 is on level 112. Got level 2 armor on the way. Level 2 armor for air on the way. Finally upgrading shields as well. So he's getting the upgrades eventually, but he's a little bit behind on schedule with his upgrades compared to HamburgerSasu. As HamburgerSasu already got level 2 and level 3 is on the way. It's finished. It just finished. Alright, so yeah, he's already maxed out on Hydra upgrades, which is a massive advantage he's got right now compared to 458, who's still getting his upgrades finished. So that's kind of a theme I've been noticing. 458 is very, very good at attacking non-stop and keeping up the pressure, but he is pretty bad at getting upgrades or building more gateways or buildings all over the map. He does have a lot of cannons here on the sides though, but he's slowly also gaining some ground. But HamburgerSasu isn't really feeling threatened by this. He looks like he is still completely fine. He has a lot of drones here in the front as well, just to make more Sunkens. He's got a Knighted Canal as well, and we've got a proxy hatchery base here, so he managed to sneak out an Overlord. Not sure how, but he managed to sneak it out and build a Knighted Canal there outside of the confinement area. He's no longer in quarantine, although drop comes in there. Drop's going to fly in all the way, but he's going to unload that one. Loses the Templar. No, the Templar doesn't. The Templar unloads, but no storm, no time to storm. HamburgerSasu is making this very, very difficult for our 458 Protoss buddy. But our buddy is not going to break through. For sure not going to break through as the Lurkers come down with the Lurker Swarm. Reaver's going to try to do the trick there though, but now the Guardians attacking the Reaver. Reaver is picked up and flown outside of the Guardian distance. So yeah, not gonna make much ground here. Not gonna make much ground. Not gonna make much ground at all. So yeah, now he's getting his Nidus Canal finished up. He's gonna send them units over to the bottom side of the map after he survives this frontal attack, which should be a walk in the park. Considering he's got like 30 sunken in total in the front, which alone should be enough to kill all of this. His observer went down as well. No, the observer is there. He ensnares the drop, and the drop is forced to load. Storms on Hydras, kills a lot of Hydras, but the drop not connecting is way more important than losing some Hydralisks. Push on the front, once again, but so many sunkens. He's gonna kill them slowly, but slowly is not what he needs, because there's already a lot of units being loaded up into overlords on the bottom side of the map here. You could go for frontal attacks, like sneak in through the front door, but he's gonna go in through the back door with a mass drop here. In all those overlords, lurkers, hydras, this is gonna be brutal. This is gonna be a killing blow that 458 is not prepared for. He doesn't even notice it's coming. He's thinking that HamburgerSasu is still contained within the walls of his base, but nope, nope, nope. He calls it GG before it even unloads, before he even loses anything at all. He's not even gonna try. He just says, alright, screw this, I'm out. Screw this, I'm out. And the GG has been called, and HamburgerSasu is the winner after 22 minutes and 16 seconds. And he wins the set. He wins the set with 3 wins. 3 wins there, 3-1. We don't often see a Protoss lose a best of series, but this is one of those. And of course, it's against HamburgerSasu. It's against HamburgerSasu during his prime days. Because I might have mentioned this before, but HamburgerSasu has encountered some wrist problems in 2020 because he's been playing so much Starcraft without taking care of his wrists, like never stretching. So he's no longer as good as he used to be. He's still as smart though, he still has the same game sense, but he's not able to play at 300 APM non-stop anymore, or 400 APM. He's become a lot slower in that regard. And that's also, of course, hurt his ability to play in 2020. So this is still HamburgerSasu from his prime days. And I hope for him that he can one day return to his prime days and give us all some amazing Starcraft once again. So yeah, this series goes for HamburgerSasu. 458 wasn't... Well, he was quite a match. He played really well, but not well enough. HamburgerSasu managed to just stay alive in most of the games and find ways to eventually come out on top and win the match. So well played from both of them. And that's it for today. That's part number 2 in this best of 5, I guess. It's a best of 5. Between HamburgerSasu and 458. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it was a fun watch. And if you want to leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe. Do what you want. You're free to do as you please. Ain't nobody gonna tell you what to do. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna call it a goodbye. I hope you have a good day, a good week. I hope to see you return very soon. And have a happy holidays in advance, just in case I'm not going to be able to make a video during the holidays. I hope you have a great holiday season. And goodbye.